Hello, my name is Clayton, and welcome to episode 117 of the Watch Dog podcast. I'm a professional dog runner and watch enthusiast talking to his pals about dogs and watches. How's everyone doing? Thank you so much for listening. You know I appreciate it. Well, a little bit of a bonus episode for you this week. I have a fan of my arch nemesis, the Green Bay Packers, on. We've known each other probably our whole lives. I wouldn't say we've liked each other, but we've known each other that long. Yes, he is a fan of the Green Bay Packers. He even went as far as buying a Green Bay Packers watch. He's been on the podcast before. My friend Jeremy, all joking aside, thank you for joining me. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah. Against my better judgment. Well, I thought we'd do something fun. It is NFL kickoff weekend here in a couple days. And yes, my beloved Detroit Lions play your beloved Green Bay Packers. And yeah, we even have warring watches. We're going to be talking a lot of trash during the game, I'm sure. But we even have watches now. I think we should make some sort of bet. I don't know what that bet might be, but.
Yeah, we haven't made a bet before, although we've only been kind of talking back and forth online during, I think last year was kind of the first time, really.
Yeah, and I don't know even if we talked so much trash. I mean, the Lions just dominated. It was cold-hearted of me to rub salt in the wound. Just kidding.
Actually, now that I think about it, it was 2 seasons ago we started like talking back and forth on Messenger during games because I remember you and I were watching the Packers Dallas playoff game.
That's right.
And you were a little further ahead.
Oh
than me. And I remember you were just like, "What is going on?" So I knew like a big play was coming.
Yeah, that was a crazy game. Green Bay was the underdog. I think Dallas won their division, maybe, or they were expected to win anyway.
They hadn't lost at home that whole season.
Right.
Yep.
They had just screwed Detroit in that game where the offensive lineman didn't declare eligible. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then Green Bay just went in there and whooped them.
I loved it.
Those are like my 2 least favorite teams. And I have to say, like, I don't know, I'm a diehard Lions fan. I always want them to win, but it was sort of nice to see Dallas just get spanked, even if it was the Packers that did it.
Right.
Well, if you want to hear more about Jeremy, he and my friend Ryan were on, I think it was episode 81, July of 2023. I don't know why you'd want to know any more about him. I want to know less about him. But if you do, check out that episode. As you can tell, we've really known each other, majority of our lives, right? I mean, we weren't really close friends, but gosh, we hung out in the 90s for sure at our mutual friend Mike's house. We made some goofy videos, I think.
Yep. Yeah. And then we both ended up going to the same university. And I think that's when we started talking and hanging out a whole lot more.
Yeah. It was my second stint. I went back to school. I graduated, moved to California, and then moved back and went back to school. And we had a Western Civ class together.
Yep.
Yeah, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, so, all right. Maybe just tell me about your love of the Green Bay Packers. Like, I think I've talked about the Lions enough on this podcast, about my family, and just we come from a long line of Detroit Lions fans. And I know this is very NFL centered. It's a bonus episode, so it's all going to be about the rivalry game this weekend between the Lions and Packers. And if you don't like the NFL, you know what? You can skip this one. But if you want to hear a little football talk, and there will be some watch talk coming up here too. But yeah, so you and your family have been Packer fans for generations, I assume.
Well, I don't know if my grandparents were really into football, but I remember, earliest memories, like, kindergarten, 5, 6 years old. My dad would watch the Packers, and he'd have it on the TV. And when I was really young, I kind of just, it was like background. I wasn't really paying attention too much. But then as you keep getting older, you start getting invested. So I think when my parents got married, they moved to Green Bay. And that might have been when my dad got into the Packers. I'm not sure. But they lived in Green Bay not very long, a year or two, I think, and then moved back.
No one wants to stay there. I mean,
So yeah, as far back as I can remember, my dad would watch the Packers, and then my mom kind of got into it just because he was watching it, and then I think my mom actually became more invested in the Packers than my dad, and so eventually, like I went to my first game shortly after. I'd have to look it up, but shortly after graduating from college, um, saw Brett Favre. Might have been his second to last year in Green Bay, and they actually lost that game. It was against the Saints. And then I've gone to several games after that where Rodgers was the quarterback, and every game I've gone to since they've won. So I've only had to witness one loss at Lambeau.
Nice. Nice. So a little background about us. We grew up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which I have referenced before. Geographically, Green Bay is much closer than Detroit. So even though it's a different state and Detroit's in the same state, I mean, we're a world away from Detroit. Like if you've ever been to our home area, I mean, Detroit's the last thing you think of. And you can get to Green Bay in what, 3.5, 4 hours, right?
Yeah, you can drive to Green Bay and then drive back in the time it takes you just to get to Detroit.
Exactly
basically.
right. You might actually make better time doing that than getting to Detroit.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, so it makes sense that there are a lot of Packer fans in the Upper Peninsula, lots of Lions fans too. I think maybe the western half of the Upper Peninsula. I'm not so sure about the eastern half, maybe since that is closer to the Lower Peninsula of Michigan and Detroit. Probably more Lions fans out that way than Packers fans, but I know in our area, it's sort of 50-50.
Yeah, I've actually seen, and I don't remember the source, but there was some, I don't know if it was a university professor had did some sort of survey thing several years ago, and it was like 54-55% Packers to Lions, but I don't remember like if that was for the whole UP or just like you said, the western half compared to the eastern, but yeah, there's a lot of Packer fans in the UP.
I have gone to a few Lions games since Detroit was so far away. I've gone to, I think I've seen them 4 or 5 times. Once at Soldier Field in the late 90s. And I do believe they won that game. It was snowy. It was a really cold day. It was December. It was right before Christmas. And wow. I just remember the bleachers being full of snow and it being really cold. And then I've seen a couple games at Ford Field and they lost both of those. One was a Monday night football game against the Jets. I believe it was Sam Darnold's first game ever. And it was also maybe the first game Matt Patricia coached. And Detroit went up early. Darnold threw, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Darnold threw a pick 6 right away. It was 7-0. And then the Jets went on to just destroy them. Like, it was bad. It was a bloodbath. And then I went to Thanksgiving games, last one in 2017. So coming up on 10 years. And then a couple years ago, saw them out here at Gillette Stadium, and it was right before they turned things around in that 9-8 season where they actually beat Rodgers in his final game as a Packer. But they started that season like 1-6. Detroit did, and they got New England was starting like Bailey Zappi, the backup, and they still just throttled the Lions. I was like, oh God, I think I'm just horrible luck. And then the next week, I think they beat Green Bay and started their run to like turn their season around. And sort of this whole renaissance was started like that game. So I missed it by a week.
Right.
But
well, they've been doing good now, so you can't go watch a game at Ford Field.
Right, I know. I'm actually probably going to Detroit for Thanksgiving this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think instead of coming home this year, we're all going to Detroit for Thanksgiving. My mom and sister and nephews and everybody. So it sounds like the plan. I don't think we're going to the game. Yeah, I probably not. We'll just watch it at my cousin's house and like help cook food and everything like that.
That'll be nice though.
Yeah. All right. So I've talked ad nauseum about my Detroit Lions Breitling Chronomat B01. Has a beautiful blue dial, has the little Lions logo. Just this week, Breitling announced further collaborations with the NFL. Chronomat GMT, which is actually very nice. I think the dials are well done. And then the Endurance Pro with that has the team logo. So I believe the Chronomat GMT is like $6,600, and then the Endurance Pro is $4,400. I am not going to buy it. I promise. Not going to buy it. Now I won't buy the chronomat because it's actually very similar to the one I have. It's just not a chronograph, but bullet bracelet, same kind of deal. Would be a little too similar. The Endurance Pro would be different and theoretically could make sense in my collection because I do love high accuracy quartz. But no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Damn it! I promise. Famous last words. But yes, you have a Green Bay Packers watch. Before we get into this week's game, which I kind of want to preview, and there was a huge trade for the Packers this week. Tell me about your Green Bay Packers watch.
Well, when you got your watch last year and you were sending me pics, I was looking at it thinking, oh, that's really nice. And obviously I looked at the Packers one right away. I was not going to spend that much. So I was thinking to myself, it would be funny because I knew like Timex made NFL branded watches. I was like, I'm just going to order a Packers one and send you pictures and just be like, you're not the only one with a NFL football team watch now. And both the NFC North as a whole has been really good the last couple of years. So I thought it would just be fun to little rivalry thing, both with the teams and the watches. So I went on Timex, looked at their NFL watches, and just ended up picking the Timex Easy Reader Green Bay Packers watch, it's just a quartz analog, 38 millimeter, just a big white face, and it's got the Green Bay Packers logo kind of up right above the 6, and it's much bigger logo than your Lions logo on your watch. It really stands out, but I didn't care. And the whole white face, it's got an indigo light on it that just illuminates the entire thing. So yeah, I just paid I don't remember I think it retails for $59.95. I can't remember how much I paid, but I just bought it kind of as a joke, but not because now I've been wearing it during every game and during their run through the playoffs last year, but which didn't last beyond one game. But no, it was for fun, and I'm glad I bought it. And my only complaint is it's probably my least comfortable watch, but it's not horrible. But of the 4 watches I have, it's the least comfortable.
Is it the bracelet?
It's no, it's got a leather strap.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta send you a good strap for that watch. Believe me, I have several.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
So the leather is probably not broken in.
No, it's not. I mean, I only wear it. I usually just wear it during the day that of the game.
Yeah.
So it hasn't had a lot of wear on it.
Are you going? So this year, I said it in a yet to be released podcast, but my strategy for this year is going to be I'm going to wear it every game day. And then if the Lions win, I'm going to wear it until the next game. But if they lose, then I'm going to take it off and wear something else until the next game day. Because now that the Lions are good, the one benefit of the Lions being bad was they always played Sunday at 1 p.m., which I actually really like. Now that they're good, they have all these prime time games, and that's something you've dealt with for a long time. But this is fairly new for us Detroit Lions fans. So that's the only thing I don't like. Sometimes it's Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night. Man, I don't know. I just miss the good old Sunday at 1 o'clock days.
You got to take the bad with the good.
That's right. I guess it's a trade-off. I'd rather have them not be miserable.
Right.
Well, I'm really excited you got that watch. Yes, I am going to send you. Do you like rubber straps? Or like a mesh? Do you like a mesh bracelet?
Yeah, mesh isn't bad. It and rubber strap. I have a G-Shock with a rubber strap on it.
Yes, you have the 5610.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
No, any of those, they're good.
I could get you. We'll figure it out. We don't have to discuss that now. But I'll hook you up with something more comfortable, and maybe even something green. All right. So let's talk about this game. This is I don't know. You may know more than me. I can't remember the last time Detroit and Green Bay opened up a season against each other. Do you?
I can't remember either. I do know this is just kind of a fun fact because Matt LaFleur, the Packers head coach, I think he's going into year year 6 or 7. This is the first time he's having a home opener at Lambeau. All previous 5 or 6 seasons, they've opened up on the road. So
That's pretty
first time,
crazy.
it is crazy
Yeah.
to go that long without getting a home opener. But yeah, I can't remember the last time that I know the Packers have in recent memory, they've opened up against the Bears. But yeah, I can't remember when they've played the Lions opening weekend.
Yeah, they usually play each other later in the year.
Right.
Seems.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's really exciting. Detroit had a slew of injuries last year, and much like Green Bay, disappointing playoff finish. So much so that I think you and I both did not wear our watches for several months. Our respective team watches, we did not wear them for several months.
Nope.
After.
Well, actually, I'm wearing the Packers watch right now. This might be the first time I've worn it since since they've lost that in the playoffs. It's just been sitting on a shelf.
Yeah, I think that was a Saturday in January when they lost to the Commanders. And then I did not wear it again until the draft. I wore it that long weekend for the NFL draft.
But now that you say that, I did put it on during the draft.
Yeah, I think we talked
the
about
first
it.
day. Yeah, yep. I
Yeah.
completely forgot. But yeah, that was the first time I put it back on since they got knocked out.
And the draft was in Green Bay this year too. So
Yes,
I think that's why you one of the reasons you wanted to wear it on draft day.
Yep.
Did you think about going to that?
I thought it'd be cool to go, but just like the logistics of going down there and finding a place and whatnot, and also like my wife isn't into football, so if I'd be like, "Hey, honey, you want to go down to Green Bay for the NFL draft?" She'd be like, "Get out of here." So
Are your daughters into football either? No.
nope, I've tried, but they couldn't care less.
Yeah. Be a hard sell. And you know what? I've gone to a lot of live events, and sometimes the couch is the best seat. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right. Are you excited about this Micah Parsons trade? So the Green Bay Packers, if you don't know, Wednesday, Thursday?
I think so. I think it was Thursday, but I can't remember.
Traded
All
with
been a big blur.
Yeah, traded with Dallas. I don't know what Jerry Jones is doing, but yes, got Micah Parsons, star pass rusher, 26 years old, double-digit sacks, I think, every year he's been in the league. Stole him from Dallas. How do you feel about that?
I'm excited. I'm also a little, nervous because this is probably the Packers' biggest trade that they've ever made. I've tried to think of, another player that they brought in. Like Reggie White was huge, but that wasn't a trade. He was signed in free agency, and Brett Favre, when they traded for him, I think they just traded a first-round draft pick, and there wasn't really much expectation because he was coming in as a backup. But with this, they've traded 2 first-round draft picks and sent Kenny Clark to the Cowboys. So, and the Packers have traditionally been a draft and develop team. They don't usually like to give away draft picks to other teams to acquire talent. So if it works out, it's great, but we'll see. You mentioned how double-digit sacks his 4 years he's been in the league. I saw an interesting little detail that he's one of 2 players that has gotten 12 or more sacks in his first 4 years in the league. The other is Reggie White. So that's some good company to be in.
That's right. Reggie White, of course, won a Super Bowl with them. I'm hoping Micah Parsons does not. But no, I think it's good for the NFC North. I mean, it was already one of the best divisions in football. Green Bay won 11 games last year, and they finished 3rd. So
yes,
really good
crazy.
division. Yeah.
Yep.
So I think it makes it exciting. Detroit was 15-2 last year, but they had a ridiculous amount of defensive players on IR. It was a rough year, most notably Aiden Hutchinson, their star pass rusher, defensive lineman, defensive edge. So he's back. He broke his leg in a brutal looking break against the Cowboys, actually, when they massacred them. That was a satisfying game. Micah Parsons actually did not play in that game, but
No, I think he missed 4 games last
yeah,
season. I think, yeah.
but
But I got to hand it to the Lions. They for as many injuries as they had last year to finish how they did
yeah.
with the record they had and winning the North is pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, they were signing like 40-year-old safeties that weren't even in the league. I mean, I mean they were guys who, quote unquote retired, but came back.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean it was really rough. It just seemed like every week, like, oh gosh, Alex Anzalone broken this, Amik Robertson broken that. The offense stayed relatively healthy, but oh, the poor defense. And then yeah, it just didn't end well. They just couldn't keep up with the Commanders and Jaden Daniels, my friend Bobby Legg's favorite team.
Mm.
Yeah, so that was brutal. But yeah, we have a lot of guys back. The one glaring need, Ali McNeil, who's a defensive tackle, he tore his ACL in December, and he's a big guy. We don't expect him back until October, maybe November, depending on how the healing goes. And we have a rookie, Tyleek Williams, to fill that spot. But I'm just worried about the defensive line. Detroit, I think, in this new regime is very similar to what Green Bay has done, where they want to build through the draft and they don't willy nilly sign free agents or make trades like Green Bay did. I mean, a lot of rumors had Micah Parsons going to Detroit, but I
Hmm.
knew deep down they would never ever do that. Brad Holmes wants first round draft picks so he can have hopefully good players on low contracts because he wants to resign a number of the great draft picks he's had. Like Aiden Hutchinson's coming up. A lot of these guys are coming up looking for new contracts. So can't keep everybody, but he wants to try. So I knew we weren't going to sign even Hendrickson from the Bengals. I was hoping for him, but no way that was going to happen. So yes, I think the Lions are stacked. New coordinators, which both on offensive and defensive side of the ball, with Ben Johnson going to the Bears, traitor. Uh, um, yeah, but I'm not. I don't know. I think it'll take an adjustment, but I think they'll be fine. The defensive coordinator was a coach on the staff last year, and then John Morton, the offensive coordinator, he was a part of the Dan Campbell Lions staff a couple of years ago. I think in the second year of Dan Campbell when they went 9-8. So he has been here before. And he worked under Ben Johnson. So I don't know. I think will take an adjustment, but I'm not overly worried about that. I actually thought Ben Johnson got a little cute at times last year, especially down
Hmm.
by the goal line, tried to be the smartest guy in the room. I mean, I'm not denying he was a very talented coach and genius play caller and, had a large part in Detroit turning things around. Not denying that at all, but it was frustrating when they could have just run David Montgomery up the middle 4 times for a touchdown. He would try all this cute crap that wouldn't work, and then we'd turn it over on downs because go for it on fourth down a bunch. That got a little old. But how are you feeling about Green Bay this year? You were probably excited about them before the Parsons trade, but now probably even more so.
Yeah, I was definitely excited before the trade. The biggest issue was the pass rush because it was really bad during the regular season last year, and they didn't really do much to address it in the draft. And they got one of their other issues was they have a lot of talented young wide receivers, but they had problems holding on to the ball, and they used their first draft pick on a wide receiver, which made Packer fans very jubilant because it had been, I don't even know how long since they drafted a wide receiver in the first round, probably like 20 years. I can't remember
Yeah,
what it was, but it might have been Javon Walker might have been the last time they drafted a wide receiver in the first round.
I think
So
that's right.
everybody was excited. Yeah, everybody was excited about that, but the pass rush was kind of this thing that everybody's kind of wondering, well, you got Rashawn Gary. He's pretty good. You have Lucas Van Ness, who was a first round draft pick a few years ago, and he has not played up to his draft pick slot. Excuse me. So he's had a good camp from what I've heard, and they're hoping he finally starts producing like they've expected him to. But the corners, when you can't get to the quarterback, you're putting your corners out there that they have to
Yep.
cover for a long time. And we lost Jair Alexander, who was their best corner. Didn't He probably played a little more than half the season last year, but he's very talented. And they moved Bo Melton, a wide receiver, to corner, which a lot of people thought, oh, they're just doing that before they get rid of him. And he ended up making the team as a corner. So, and has played. I watched him. Watched some of his film from training camp, and he's actually looks pretty good. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. But yeah, once they made the trade for Micah Parsons, then that's when I got excited, because now you have a pass rush that you hope can just go after the quarterback, force him to throw the ball early, and hopefully get some interceptions and a lot of sacks and turnovers.
So I think if Micah Parsons has a weak point, it's against the run.
Right.
And then you lost Kenny Clark, who was good at stopping the run. So I'm hoping Gibbs and Montgomery will be able to slash the defense that way, because yes, I do worry about Micah Parsons. The Lions have some deficiencies at offensive line. They have traditionally, the last couple of years, had one of the best O-lines in the game. They let Zeitler go in free agency, and then their all-world center Frank Ragnow retired. So they have a rookie and a second-year guy filling those spots. And I'm a little nervous about that. They still have Penei Sewell, who's one of the best players in the game at any position. Decker, so they're okay, but there's some question marks. So gosh, I'm hoping Micah Parsons, because he hasn't really taken part in training camp or anything yet. So hoping he goes easy on us in week 1.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see just how much action he sees, because you can work out all you want during the off season, at your house and stuff, but you're not getting in football shape, and he didn't participate in anything, with the Cowboys, and didn't play in any of the preseason. So he might be on a pitch count, and you might not see him getting, an extensive amount of time for a few weeks, but who knows?
Yeah, that's like pulled hamstring, or that has that written all over it if he plays the whole game.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm sure they're going to be careful with him, which is good for us. I guess if we have to play Green Bay Packers with Micah Parsons week 1, a little over a week after they got him, is probably the best time.
Yeah, definitely the best time.
Yeah. So, is there anything about the Lions that scare you a little bit as a Packer fan, like things you're looking at this week that you're worried about?
My biggest worry is the Lions. They're very aggressive, and the Packers defense, which was statistically really good last year. They were a top 10 defense in a lot of areas, but they struggle with stopping passes in the middle of the field, and they sometimes would give up a lot on the run. And I know the Lions are able to run the ball really well. So, offensively for the Packers, going up against the Detroit D, which is good. I think, they have enough weapons that they can put up points, but I'm just very interested to see if Micah Parsons plays, how much he plays. And if he doesn't play a whole lot, are they, with the other guys they have, with like Rashawn Gary and LVN, Lucas Van Ness, if they can actually get to the quarterback, and if, without Jair Alexander, can their corners hold up? So that's kind of my biggest concerns.
Yeah. Josh Jacobs worries me always. That guy's so good. He was great for Green Bay last year, and the Lions defense traditionally has been pretty good at stopping the run, but I don't know. I worry about their defense, and I know a lot of like Kool-Aid drinking Lions fans are not too worried. I wish Brad Holmes had done a little bit more. I feel like they cheaped out at certain positions on the defensive line. Marcus Davenport is their starting edge opposite Aiden Hutchinson, which I just have no faith in that guy. He can't stay healthy. I don't know. He's kind of underachieved. So I do worry about the pass rush, but also stopping the run too. And we have healthy linebackers, and I like Anzalone. I like Jack Campbell, but he's so good, Jacobs. So, and I mean, I'm unconvinced on Jordan Love, I think, and the receivers on Green Bay, I think, but Matthew Golden, I think he's probably goes into being your number one wide receiver like right away, probably. That guy's fast.
Yes, he's very fast. Didn't I'm trying to think how much he played during the preseason, but he had a couple of very impressive catches. The first preseason game I watched, the wide receivers that have been on the team for a few years now were having some drops, and then they go to him and he just catches one right
Yeah.
away, and you're thinking, oh good, this is what you like to see with your number one draft pick. So as far as Jordan Love is concerned, like there's certain Packer fans that are skeptical, and he's coming in after Aaron Rodgers and obviously before that Brett Favre. So to be able to to come in and put up numbers and perform as well as those two did is very hard. But when you look at his first season as a starter, the second half of the season he was very good.
Yeah.
And then last year he got injured in week 1, came back too early, got another injury, and he was playing hurt for most of the season. So you hope that those injuries were just kind of nagging and affecting his performance, and that this year he plays more like he did in the second half of his first starting season. So it's his third year. It's he's still young, so you just hope that he keeps improving with each game.
All right, before we get to predictions and maybe a watch bet. Now, Micah Parsons has been a little bit of a controversial figure, I think. I read that his podcast rubbed some of his teammates the wrong way. Sometimes he has been known to go into business for himself on certain plays. Are you worried about that at all? Because I feel like Green Bay is usually a very well-coached, tightly run ship, except for when Quay Walker pushed that trainer of the Lions. But yeah, are you worried about that at all with Micah Parsons, or is he just so good that you don't really care?
I really don't care if I know about his podcast and stuff. Never really listened to it, but it'll be interesting to see. I'm assuming that stuff will continue, and the Packers are obviously aware of it. So as long as he's performing well on the field, I don't care what he does outside of football.
No, I'm not sure if it's cowboy PR spin, but I have read, and I don't know if this is true, but it is a little bit of a relief from some of the players that he's gone, and they're not exactly sad about it. So I don't know what that says. I mean, the guy's so good, but yeah, apparently, I don't know if I never listened to the podcast either, but I think certain people were upset by things he said on the podcast, and maybe he said too much or talked about locker room struggles that should be kept in house and maybe not discussed on a national podcast. I think that kind of stuff. So is he still going to do the podcast even?
I would assume so, but yeah, there's certain stuff that you never really heard about until after this trade happened. Particularly too with Jerry Jones, like when he gave his press conference and he's saying like, Mike is a good player, but we need to stop the run. And it's like, well, you've had 4 years to try and stop the run and keep Micah Parsons.
Right.
So, I don't know. As long as he's not a big distraction, I don't care.
Should we go as far as predicting scores? I'm not very good at that ever.
I'm not either really, but I think it'll probably be a close game. I'm hoping it's a close game because was it the first outing between the Packers and Lions? The Lions just whooped them
in Lambeau in the rain.
Yeah, right. And then in front of a whole lot more. There was a lot more Lions fans in the stadium that day too.
Yeah, I'm hoping they travel well again this year. They've taken over Lambeau Field the last few years, so I'm hoping that happens again.
Yeah, I remember when they played, and there's this whole thing, like online, Twitter and everything with Packers fans, that there's certain games that are reserved for the Milwaukee fans because of a deal that happened when Lambeau got built that it's called, I think it's the gold package, where those games are the tickets go to the fans in Milwaukee, and a lot of the regular Packers fans around the Green Bay area and everything else don't like it, because a lot of times when you have older fans, they don't want to make the trip up to Green Bay, especially if it's on like a Thursday night. So they sell their tickets, and then you end up with a lot of away team fans in the crowd, which I think happened with the Lions game, because that was a gold package game. So I'm hoping that, since it's their first home opener under LaFleur, it's a divisional rival. They've got Micah Parsons. I'm hoping that there's going to be a ton of Green Bay fans. They didn't sell their tickets, and that they come out for the team. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if I really want to predict. I think Detroit's just more physical than Green Bay, and that's going to work to their advantage. But they start slow. They started the season very slow last year, and I worry about that, especially with two new coordinators. So I'll just say I wouldn't be shocked if they win or lose, which is kind of a cop-out answer. But really, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if anything happened. If they lost big, it wouldn't shock me, really. I am not as high on Detroit this year. Obviously, they're going to be. You can't go 15-2 multiple years. I mean, that's just hard, especially their schedule is brutal too. But I don't know. I'm thinking like 10-7 could even happen this year for Detroit. They just have a really tough schedule, a lot of turnover. I'm not convinced on their defense. Offense, I don't really worry about, except fitting in with John Morton, the new coordinator, and that transition. But I don't think anything's going to surprise me this year. I'm not that optimistic as I have been. Like last year, I was very optimistic, and they did well, but all those injuries, of course. This year, I don't know. I'm hoping they surprise me, because I'm skeptical. I'm not the blue Kool-Aid drinkers that so many Lions fans are. Oh, they're going to go 14-3 this year. Oh, come on. Let's be realistic here. That's just not going to happen, I don't think. If it did, I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't see that happening.
Yeah. I think if they can stay healthy, the odds of them, going through that many injuries on defense for a second year in a row, you hope that's not the case. And if they can minimize their injuries and stuff, and kind of just pick up where they left off with a new offensive coordinator, that they can do well. But I'm hoping they don't.
All right. So we copped out of predicting a score. So how about a watch bet? Let's see. What can we do? If Detroit wins this week, I get to destroy your watch with a sledgehammer. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, so if the Packers win, I'd get to destroy yours.
No. We'd think of something else. No, I don't know. Like it'd be kind of fun to, like, if I don't know, the Lions lost, I'd send you my Lions watch for a week or something. Then you could wear it and hopefully not break it or anything. But that something like that would be kind of fun. Or maybe we're not allowed to wear it for a week.
That's a good one.
Yeah, okay. That's easier, and we don't have to mail anything.
Yeah, so, I'd be nervous with your watch.
Right, yeah. I'd be nervous with your watch. So let's just say let's say the Lions lose, I can't wear the Lions watch the next game against the Bears, which I really want to wear it so we can destroy Ben Johnson. Right. Benedict Johnson, as they're calling him in Detroit.
Are they really?
Yeah.
That's good.
For being a traitor, going to the Bears. Benedict Johnson. Okay. How about that? Like if Green Bay loses, you can't wear your Packers watch in week 2.
Sure. That sounds great.
That's a good bet. All right. Well, this was a fun little NFL preview. Obviously, if you're not into the NFL whatsoever, you turned it off a long time ago. But we just thought we'd have a little fun with the Lions and Packers rivalry. Jeremy, thank you so much. Anything you want to plug, like a TV show or podcast or anything like that?
I'll plug a TV show that it's been around for several years now, but my wife and I just recently got into it. It's What We Do in the Shadows. I don't know if you're familiar with it. No, it's a comedy where they're vampires that like move to like the New York area, and it's pretty funny.
Cool. What's it on?
It's on Hulu.
What years did it run?
I Shoot, I don't know off the top of my head.
Like decade-ish?
No, it's more, well, in the last decade.
Okay.
But there was a movie first, and then the series is like different actors, and you can just jump into it without having seen the movie. But for if anybody is familiar with Matt Berry, he's an English comedian. He was on a TV show called The IT Crowd, which is hilarious. He's on this. It's very funny. It's worth checking out.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, I thank you once again for taking the time to join me. We both almost forgot about it, so I almost slept through it. So, all right, man. Well, we'll have you on again. Maybe we'll have you on again for the second matchup.
Maybe we can then come up with like another idea to do something with our watches based on the outcome. I think it'd be fun.
Detroit and Green Bay play on Thanksgiving this year, so yeah, we'll have to come up with. I should go to that now. I'm going to be in Detroit now. I kind of want to go.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the last time the Packers and Lions played on Thanksgiving, it did not end well for the Lions.
It's like the only time in the last few seasons they've lost to Green Bay, and it was not a pretty game. Green Bay went in there, and credit to them. I mean, they went in there ready to play, and just because Detroit hadn't won on Thanksgiving in several years, and we were thinking like, okay, this is the year we finally win on Thanksgiving, and nope, Green Bay went in there and embarrassed them. It was embarrassing. Yep, they just ran all over them.
Well, I enjoyed it at least.
Yes. It was right around Toyota-thon. Jordan Love heated
That's
up.
That's right. Yep, the Toyota-thon.
Hopefully they canceled Toyota-thon this year. All right, Jeremy. Well, thank you for taking the time, and we'll talk to you again around Thanksgiving. I guess that'll be the episode before Thanksgiving. We'll preview that one and come up with a new watch bet.
All right, sounds good.
All right, and thank you so much for listening. Shoot me a message. Give me some feedback. Do you hate the Lions? Are you a Packer fan? Are you a Lions fan? Let me know. Share some score predictions. And should be a fun NFL season. This is one of my favorite days of the year, NFL kickoff Sunday. I'm doing a half marathon that morning, and then that allows me, in my mind anyway, to lay around for the next 12 hours and watch football, which I fully intend on doing. So that will be amazing. All right, we'll talk to you on the next episode of the Watch Dog Podcast. See you later.